Welcome back to episode 2 of Unopinionated. Hi, Kelsey.
Hi, Dennis.
It's good to be back.
It's great to be back. We made it.
We made it. We did it.
We did it. Knowing us, there was a solid chance that we would make one episode and then never return to this project.
And never post it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a plan.
Now we have to post it, I think.
Yeah.
That it legally, if you have 2 episodes of if you're in possession of 2 episodes of a podcast, you're legally obliged to post it.
You have to.
Yes.
It's the rules of society. I don't make the rules.
Mm-hmm.
White people with 2 episodes have to post.
Yes. Sorry, folks. That's society.
We're giving in to societal pressure.
Yes. Wow. Really starting out with a race card
War.
on this.
Let's start the episode.
Let's start it now. So, Dennis, how has your week been?
Well, this week is better than last week. As you know, the week before was a great week. I was in Hawaii.
What a hardship.
It was, it is tough. It's tough to have to travel so much for pleasure, but I came back last Sunday and I accidentally left my door unlocked.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I live...
Like the whole time you were gone?
No. After getting back. So I got everything of mine. I schlepped all my shit back safely, but I forgot to lock my front door. And while I moved most of my bags out of the living room, I left one bag there. And at some point, while I was inside my house, someone came in.
Oh, God.
Took the bag. It had my work computer, some very important souvenirs.
Did they take anything else?
Nothing else. There was nothing really else of value in the living room. I don't think people need a Amazon Dot or an old TV.
Not a lot of street value.
No, I don't think so. So, no, nothing else was taken. None of my very valuable artwork on the walls was taken. So
I think I've heard you describe it as hotel art.
My living room's a lot like a Best Western.
Yeah. You know? Like nice enough to stay, but you're not taking anything with you.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I was burgled while I was inside my house. And I feel like I have often defended my neighborhood because people say it seems sketch.
Right.
The ballpark neighborhood of Salt Lake City. But I might not be defending it as much anymore.
I think relative to other, metropolitan cities, right, the, sketchy, quote-unquote, parts of the city are significantly less sketchy. But, yeah, it's hard to argue with, someone entered your home without your permission. And while you were inside, as a woman who grew up with my mother, literally just drilling into me the fear of, locking the door because someone will come inside, that is a deep-seated fear.
Yeah.
For me, it's horrifying. That's literally the most horrifying thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah. So
that's hyperbole, but...
No, and I still, I wouldn't say I feel physically unsafe, but it is very violating.
Oh, absolutely.
And I now have despite having lots of smart things in my home, I've never had a smart lock or a camera. Mm-hmm. But this week I decided to add those things.
Yeah, I think for those of us who are not as, maybe I'm trying to think of a nicer way to put it, who are forgetful, as someone who, occasionally does forget to lock my front door. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening. But, yeah, I think those are good things to have. Did you want to lock the door? Or, you can look at your phone while you're laying in bed and see if the door is locked. I think that's definitely a good investment. Wow, what a way to re-enter real life.
Yeah, I felt really dumb. It's kind of like they say you kind of go through stages. It's kind of like grief. Like you're like angry, and then you're like guilty, and yeah, it's been kind of funny. But it's given me a story. People who won't walk away from me, I tell them the whole story, even though they didn't ask.
Exactly. You've been dining out on that one since you got back, which, like, as you should. I mean, I've only ever had my car broken into, which, again, we're getting it all out on the table here, was not necessarily a break-in because I forgot to lock the doors of my car. And someone, people, they rifle through your stuff and it's everywhere. And even if in that case, nothing really of value was taken, it really does feel like it gives you the heebie-jeebies. So
yeah. And I asked my coworker today, like, how many more days do you think I can say, sorry for the delay on that, my computer was burgled out of my home, as a legitimate excuse for taking a minute to respond?
I mean, until you get the computer back is what I think. Because, it's... I think lies that have a kernel of truth at the center are the most ideal.
Yeah.
Like, did I have difficulty getting back to you because of my computer? Maybe not, but my computer was stolen, so...
Yeah. I kind of went full-on Nancy Drew, because I know where, like, the homeless camps are and the dumpsters in my neighborhood, because a lot of the things that people took, like my used Calvin Klein underwear, though I'm sure there's a market out there for it.
I hear there's quite the market online, frankly.
Yeah. They wanted after I play hockey, like Shawn Mendes, wanted Justin Bieber's underwear. But I went on the hunt. Like, I'm surprised I wasn't dusting for fingerprints or whatever.
A little gumshoe moment.
I went on a hunt through my neighborhood, checking dumpsters, looking for, the shit. The shit from my bag that they didn't want.
Right. You always wonder about that, like in that moment where you go through it, that it's like that. Like assessing a value that, like, I don't know, maybe I could use these underwear at some point.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Checking the sizes,
Yeah.
We'll give this to someone as a gift.
Like a matching short set for tropical times, is probably really useful right now in the Salt Lake winters. Yeah. Especially in an enormous size. So... They're super into that. I hope like half a bottle of salicylic acid face wash is coming in clutch on the streets.
So just for anyone out there, if you see anyone on the streets of Salt Lake City wearing unseasonable clothing and has amazing skin, let us know.
And if they're eating chocolate covered macadamia nuts.
We'll be opening a tip line.
Yeah. Well, how's your week going?
Well, I mean, it's hard to top that. Because that's insane.
People have said that before to me. Sorry, continue.
If I had a nickel. So this happened today, actually. I ran into some car issues. I had, some lights turn on the dashboard, which is always like fingers crossed, hope it's something not too crazy. So I took it in today. And, every time that I take my car in, I think about like that stereotype of like women getting like fleeced at the mechanics. And, so I was thinking about that today, and I'm like looking around me in the waiting room, and I'm like looking at the demographics, and it's like, I don't necessarily think it's just women, although predominantly women, but like people of a certain age, which I think I equate with like their financial situation. Like, I think it's really just like rich people getting screwed over for the most part, or perpetuating the system, because it's like, someone comes to me and they're like, okay, here's what's wrong and here's how much it's going to cost. And it's like, I have no idea. I have nothing in my mind about cars. I know nothing about them. And I hate that as an adult, I'm expected to know a lot about things that I literally care nothing about. But they come to me and it's like, the quote for this thing that needs to be done on my car is like $3,000. This is parts and labor.
Jesus.
And it's like immediately, I hate that immediately your brain goes to like, okay, how much of this is just me getting gouged? But there's really not a great way to like know in that moment, It's like, if I drive this car down the street, is it going to explode? Or is it something that like I can push off or like can be done less expensively somewhere
else? Were you at the dealership
I was at the dealership. You know me well.
They always gouge you.
I know. Well, and it's like, but that's the thing is like you buy a new car from a dealership, and it's like, okay, I've worked with these people. They know me. They know my car, so I'm going to take it back there. But yeah, it's really hard to trust. One of the pieces, okay, here's the most ridiculous thing. And the thing that really like sparked this whole spiral down into like, am I being gouged? Which was like one of the bolts that holds the wheel on, like on one of my tires is like broken and needs to be replaced. And he's like, do you want to, some of the stuff I'm like, I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to do some price, comparison. And, anyway, but he's like, do you want to take care of that today? And I'm like, well, tell me, like, what does that mean? And he goes through it.
Your tire's about to fly off.
No, I mean, it means it's like being held on at 4 points instead of 5, which granted, when it comes to ideal. Not ideal. When it comes to a tire, it's like, you want it to be secure.
Yeah.
But at $400 for what is essentially like a bolt that holds the tire.
One lug nut, $400.
Well, it's the bolt that the lug nut screws onto. But
the bolt is missing.
But still.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's like, I just don't, I cannot fathom a world in which that is $400.
Yeah, I can't either. Sometimes people give me crap because I don't know a lot about cars. And I've had things that I'm told I could have done in my driveway, done at even my local non-dealer car repair place, and spend some money having them do it. But don't we live in a society of division of labor? Like, I can only know so many things.
Right. And, like, the other thing, too, is it's like there's this line between, like, I don't want to overpay for something, but I also don't want to either, like, pay too little or take it somewhere that's going to do it and, like, my car is going to explode or it's going to need to be further fixed down the line. And if I am, like, fixing my own car in the driveway from a YouTube video, that's absolutely what's happening. Like, maybe I can do it for $20, but, at what later cost to either my physical well-being or, to the car. So yeah, it is difficult to have to like rely on other people.
I worry about my my attention to detail, because anytime I've learned how to do a lot of things at my house, but anytime I start out, the first part of it is done really, really well. And as my laziness sets in, it starts to get worse and worse. You could walk into any room of my house and tell the first wall that I painted and the fourth wall that I painted.
I was gonna say like painting is the thing, but yeah, you definitely can tell. Or like the taping, that like where you started the taping and like everything is precision, like and then at the end it's like, I can just freehand this. I'm not gonna get any on the ceiling. Yeah, and then I get
some color on the white ceiling and it's like, oh, that's fine.
Okay, but the other thing, not to like belabor the car story, but I cannot tell you, I go through tires more than anyone I know. I have replaced tires for 3 of the last 6 years, I think.
Do you do alignments?
Yeah, I mean, I take it in for regular like oil changes and alignments and whatever, but the problem is that I swear to God, I run over shit in the road like it's a banana in Mario Kart, like, which you're also supposed to avoid, but like I am incapable of avoiding things in the road. And sometimes it's things you don't see. The last thing, it was a bolt. It was like 4 inches long.
Oh my gosh.
And went straight through the tire. Didn't explode. Thank God. I was able to like drive it to the tire shop that was a couple of blocks away, but it's like I don't know how this keeps happening. It's such an expensive
There was that night too that you hit that person and kept going.
No, this did not happen. This did not happen. I've maybe had some close calls, haven't we all? That moment where you like stop, you do a little, you do the sign of the cross, and you'll promise you'll never text and drive again. Well, now we've told our sob stories.
I know, gosh. And I'm not sure how much of it was funny, but that's okay.
We didn't promise this was going to be nonstop laughs.
Yucks a minute. So, promise. Guarantee.
Frankly, I've made no promises with regards to this podcast for a very specific reason.
No, sometimes we're just chatting. We're just getting our feelings out.
Yeah.
And I just needed you to be one more person that I told that story to.
I'm honored.
For a little sympathy.
Yeah, and I'm going to triple check my lock on my door tonight.
Everyone should. I would like all the listeners to check your deadbolt right now.
I don't care what time of day it is or where you are.
Yeah.
Check it. You're not home, have the dogs check it.
I should. They're useless.
Well, what else is going on? What else has piqued your interest this week?
Have you seen this story about... You're a former Mormon.
Yes, ex-Mormon.
Ex-Mo.
Here. Yeah.
I'm not. But